Hello, friends! This is your English listening practice video today. I'll share an inspiring story about the history of FIFA and how the World Cup began. Long before football became a massive global industry, it was just a simple game played on muddy fields. In the early days of the 20th century, different countries played by completely separate sets of local rules. There was no single organization to bring nations together or create a harmonious sports environment across the globe. A small group of passionate European sports visionaries decided that the beautiful game desperately needed a global home. In May 1904, representatives from 7 distinct nations gathered in the vibrant city of Paris to sign an official document. They officially formed the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, famously known to the entire world as FIFA. The historic meeting took place behind the headquarters of the Union des Sociétés Françaises de Sports Athletiques. The 7 founding nations were France, Belgium, Denmark, the Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. The very first president of this brand new organization was a dedicated French journalist named Robert Guérin. Their primary objective was simple yet incredibly powerful: to unite humanity through the international language of football. The founders had very little money, no grand stadiums, and faced massive skepticism from traditional sports bodies. Many critics openly claimed that international travel was too difficult and that nations would ultimately refuse to cooperate. But the early leaders of FIFA possessed an unshakable belief in the unique connective power of the sport. They understood that a simple leather ball could bridge massive cultural divides and inspire millions of young children. They worked tirelessly out of small, cramped offices, writing letters to sports associations across the planet. Slowly but surely, more nations began to join this rising international collective, expanding its global footprint. Yet, the core vision of creating a grand, unified international tournament never faded from their determined hearts. Every single obstacle was viewed not as a permanent wall, but as a challenging stepping stone toward greatness. For English learners, the early history of FIFA serves as a beautiful, highly motivational lesson in patience. It shows that every massive global movement starts with a tiny spark of inspiration and a clear, focused mind. You do not need to possess all the answers at the very beginning of your personal educational journey. The founders of football's governing body did not let geographic boundaries limit their expansive thinking. They dreamed of a day when a stadium would be filled with flags from every single corner of the earth. That deep dedication laid the absolute foundation for the greatest sporting spectacle in human history. As the years rolled forward, the stage was set for a monumental event that would change the world forever. The dream of the World Cup was slowly growing, ready to capture the imagination of the entire human race. By the time the year 1930 arrived, FIFA was finally ready to turn its grandest dream into a concrete reality. The organization boldly decided to host the very first official FIFA World Cup tournament in South America. The chosen host nation was Uruguay, a country celebrating its centenary of independence and building a new stadium. Uruguay was the absolute football powerhouse of that specific era, having won Olympic gold medals in 1924 and 1928. However, this historic decision created a massive logistical nightmare for many participating European nations. In the midst of the devastating global Great Depression, traveling across the vast Atlantic Ocean was incredibly expensive. Teams had to pack all their heavy gear and spend 2 long weeks living on passenger ships just to reach the tournament. Many top European countries completely refused to participate, claiming the exhausting journey was simply not worth it. Only a few brave European teams boarded the ships, practicing their physical drills on the open wooden decks under the hot sun. Three of them, France, Belgium, and Romania, shared a famous Scottish-built Italian ocean liner called the Ses Conte Verde. Also traveling on this historic ship was FIFA president Jules, who carefully packed the brand-new gold trophy in his suitcase. The ship stopped in Rio de Janeiro to pick up the Brazilian squad before finally completing the 15-day ocean voyage. The fourth European team, Yugoslavia, traveled separately on a cruiser named the Florida, making their own epic journey across the sea. The tournament showcased incredible moments of grit, passion, and raw, unadulterated national pride on the green grass. The host nation, Uruguay, marched all the way to the final match, facing their close, fierce neighbors, Argentina. The tension in the air was incredibly thick, with over 68,000 passionate spectators packing the massive stadium. Uruguay emerged victorious with a thrilling 4-2 score, lifting the beautiful trophy and sending an entire nation into absolute ecstasy. This historic event proved to the entire universe that international football was a massive, completely unstoppable force. It showed that sports could create a beautiful sense of hope during times of extreme financial and global hardship. The success of the 1930 tournament completely silenced the critics who had predicted an absolute, embarrassing failure. FIFA had successfully proved that the love of the game could easily conquer vast oceans and immense geographic distances. For anyone trying to master a new skill, this historic chapter offers a powerful message of perseverance. The road to achieving something truly historic is often filled with lonely journeys and massive logistical doubts. But if you maintain your focus and embrace the long journey, the ultimate reward will be absolutely legendary. The first World Cup was merely the opening chapter of a global phenomenon that would soon captivate billions of lives. As the mid-20th century approached, the tournament evolved from a modest competition into a massive cultural phenomenon. The historic introduction of international television broadcasts allowed millions of families to watch the matches directly from home. Suddenly, football players were no longer just local heroes. They became global icons of human capability and creative expression. It was during the 1958 tournament in Sweden that the world witnessed the explosive arrival of a true footballing king. A 17-year-old Brazilian boy named Edson Arantes do Nascimento, famously known as Pelé, stepped onto the global stage. He was thin, completely unknown to the international press, and carried the heavy footballing hopes of an entire nation. Yet the exact moment the ball reached his feet, he played with a joyful, artistic freedom that completely mesmerized fans. He didn't just play standard football. He turned the green pitch into a beautiful canvas of speed, balance, and pure imagination. Pelé scored spectacular, gravity-defying goals that look like works of modern art, breaking defensive lines with total ease. He scored a brilliant hat-trick in the semifinal and a magnificent brace in the final match against the host nation, Sweden. He helped Brazil capture their very first World Cup trophy, weeping tears of pure joy on the shoulders of his older teammates. That historic victory marked the definitive birth of O Jogo Bonito, the beautiful game style built on pure, unadulterated joy. Pelé would go on to win 3 World Cups with FIFA, a legendary milestone that remains completely untouched to this day. His historic rise from absolute poverty to global superstardom inspired an entire generation of young children across the planet. He proved that you do not need wealth or elite status to become the absolute best in your chosen professional field. FIFA provided the grand global stage, but it was Pelé who infused the sport with its enduring, magical, and aesthetic soul. During this golden era, the tournament became a bright, powerful symbol of cultural expression and distinct national identity. Different countries brought their own unique rhythms, styles, and tactical philosophies to the international football stage. European discipline clashed beautifully with South American flair, creating a brilliant, rapid, tactical evolution of the game. Every 4 years, the world stopped moving for a whole month to witness this spectacular display of human unity and talent. This era teaches English learners that your personal background does not dictate your ultimate level of success in life. Just like Pell, you can master a foreign language or a complex skill through consistent, focused, and daily practice. Let your unique personality shine through your work, and do not be afraid to express your authentic self to the world. The golden era proved that when passion meets a grand stage, the results can inspire the entire human race forever. In the latter half of the 20th century, FIFA realized that football could not remain dominated by just two continents. For decades, the World Cup was primarily a fierce battleground between elite European and South American nations. The leaders of the organization understood that true global unity meant opening the doors wide for every single region. They initiated a massive, calculated expansion plan to develop the sport in Africa, Asia, and North America. This structural shift faced immense pushback from traditional football powers who wanted to keep the tournament small. They argued that expanding the tournament would significantly lower the overall quality of the international matches. But FIFA stood firmly by its democratic philosophy, expanding the number of participating tournament teams over time. They funded new training academies, built modern pitches, and sent expert coaches to developing football nations. The beautiful rewards of this global expansion were realized during the historic 1990 World Cup hosted in Italy. An unheralded African nation named Cameroon shocked the entire universe by defeating the reigning champions, Argentina. Led by their 38-year-old veteran striker, Roger Milla, Cameroon played with a fierce, dynamic energy. They marched proudly into the quarterfinals, dancing with pure joy after every single goal they scored. Their historic run completely shattered the old illusion that African teams could not compete at the highest level. A few years later, in 1994, the tournament traveled to the United States, breaking all historical attendance records. Then, in 2002, Japan and South Korea co-hosted the very first World Cup in Asia, creating an unforgettable festival. South Korea shocked the world by reaching the semifinals, fueled by a sea of passionate, red-shirted fans. These historic moments prove that talent is distributed completely evenly across every square inch of the planet. When given equal access to resources and a fair stage, any nation can rise up and defeat the traditional giants. The global expansion turned the tournament into a true reflection of humanity, representing every culture. Football had successfully broken through old political and geographic barriers, becoming the world's common language. This chapter of expansion serves as a massive motivational blueprint for your educational journey. Never let anyone tell you that you cannot succeed simply because you come from a specific background or region. The global stage of life is open to absolutely anyone who is willing to put in the grueling, quiet work. Keep expanding your horizons, keep learning new concepts daily, and prepare yourself for your own breakthrough moment. For a long time, the history books of international football focused almost entirely on the men's game. But the true spirit of football is inclusive, belonging equally to every single person who loves the ball. In the late 20th century, FIFA took a monumental, progressive step by launching the official Women's World Cup. The inaugural tournament took place in China in 1991, opening a brand new chapter of athletic excellence. Just like the early pioneers of 1930, These female athletes had to fight against massive cultural skepticism. Many critics claimed that women's football would not attract massive crowds or secure valuable television ratings. But these elite athletes possessed an incredible amount of grit, resilience, and top-tier tactical skill. They stepped onto the grass with a point to prove, playing with an intense physical and mental dedication. The historic breakthrough arrived during the legendary 1999 Women's World Cup hosted in the United States. The final match between the hosts and China drew a completely sold-out crowd of over 90,000 fans. The intense match went down to a dramatic penalty shootout, capturing the focused attention of millions worldwide. When Brandy Chastain scored the winning penalty, it became an iconic moment of pure athletic triumph. New global legends began to emerge, rewriting the record books and inspiring young girls across the planet. Brazilian superstar Marta Vieira da Silva emerged, displaying a level of skill that was completely breathtaking. Marta would go on to score more goals in World Cup history than any male or female player to ever live. Her historic achievements prove that excellence knows absolutely no gender boundaries on the football pitch. Today, the Women's World Cup stands as a massive, highly celebrated global event with full stadium crowds. It has completely transformed societal perspectives, proving that female athletes deserve the exact same respect. FIFA continues to invest heavily in grassroots women's football, ensuring that every young girl can chase her dream. The rise of the women's games showed that the sport is only truly beautiful when everyone can participate. For English learners, this incredible rise teaches the vital importance of fighting for your own voice. There will be times in your life when people doubt your abilities or tell you that a goal is out of reach. Do not let the quiet whispers of skeptics dictate your ultimate worth or limit your personal growth. Stand firmly on your values, practice your craft diligently, and let your ultimate success speak for itself. While the players on the pitch perform incredible athletic feats, they are only one half of the World Cup magic. The true beating heart of any FIFA tournament resides directly within the thousands of passionate, traveling fans. Every 4 years, millions of people save their hard-earned money to embark on a massive cultural pilgrimage. They transform the host cities into a vibrant, swirling sea of bright colors, traditional music, and joyful chants. In a world that is often divided by politics, the stadium stands as a unique sanctuary of absolute unity. You can see a fan from Japan sharing food with a fan from Brazil, laughing together despite speaking different languages. They do not care about political disagreements or cultural differences. They are entirely united by a shared passion. The simple act of wearing a national jersey creates an instant bond of friendship with absolute total strangers. The tournament creates iconic cultural displays, from the synchronized Viking clap of the small nation of Iceland to the electric rhythmic drumming of the African supporters who bring pure energy to the stadium blocks. Fans dress up in elaborate, traditional costumes, paint their faces, and carry giant flags with ultimate pride. They show the world that patriotism does not have to be aggressive. It can be a beautiful celebration of heritage. Even when a team suffers a heartbreaking defeat, the fan culture often displays the absolute best of humanity. During recent tournaments, international fans shocked the world by staying behind to clean up the stadium seats. They picked up litter for hours, showing immense respect for the host nation's workers and setting a global example. These quiet acts of civility prove that football instills a deep sense of global citizenship and responsibility. The fan culture teaches us that communication goes far beyond the basic structure of spoken words. You can connect deeply with another human being through a shared smile, a high five, or a mutual appreciation of art. As you learn the English language, remember that your ultimate goal is to build meaningful human connections. Do not worry excessively about making minor grammar mistakes. Focus instead on expressing your true thoughts. The massive stadiums built for the World Cup are not just cold structures made of concrete and steel. They are giant living theaters of human emotion, empathy, and unparalleled collective joy. The fans remind us that we are all part of one grand, interconnected global family on this earth. When the tournament ends, the fans return home carrying lifelong memories and a deeper understanding of the world. As the tournament progresses into the high-stakes knockout stages, the games become incredibly tense. When two elite teams remain tied after 120 minutes of grueling physical warfare, time stops. The destiny of entire nations is compressed down into the ultimate psychological test, the penalty shootout. It is a dramatic spectacle that requires a level of mental fortitude that is completely superhuman. The penalty shootout strips away the tactical complex systems of the coaches and the collective safety of the team. It becomes a lonely, hyper-focused battle between a single kicker and a lone goalkeeper from 12 yards away. The walk from the center circle to the penalty spot is often described as the longest, most terrifying walk in sports. Millions of eyes are glued to the player, and the psychological pressure can feel completely suffocating. In these clutch moments, raw physical talent is no longer the primary factor for achieving success. The battle is won or lost entirely within the quiet spaces of the player's own mind. A player must block out the roaring noise of 40,000 opposing fans and the crushing weight of expectation. They must master their racing heartbeat, take a slow, deep breath, and execute their technique with absolute precision. We have witnessed absolute legends of the sport miss crucial penalties, sending their teams home in tears. Yet, these dramatic heartbreaks are exactly what make the ultimate victories feel so incredibly historic. The players who step up to take the shot are embracing the terrifying risk of failure to achieve ultimate glory. It is the ultimate demonstration of human courage under the most intense public scrutiny imaginable. For students of English, the penalty shootout is a perfect metaphor for speaking a new language in public. When you step up to speak English in front of others, it can feel like you are walking to that lonely penalty spot. Your heart might race fast, your palms might sweat, and you might fear making a highly visible mistake. But just like an elite football player, you must take a deep breath, trust your training, and take the shot anyway. True growth never happens within the safe, comfortable boundaries of your quiet comfort zone. You must be completely willing to embrace the pressure and step into the arena of active practice. Even if you make a mistake, the simple act of trying builds an ironclad layer of personal resilience. The masters of the penalty shootout are not people who never feel fear. They are people who act despite it. The dramatic shootout teaches us that failure is never the absolute end of your personal story. It is simply a tough, highly challenging chapter that prepares you for a much stronger comeback tomorrow. The players who miss go back to the training ground, refine their skills, and prepare for the next opportunity. Keep your head held incredibly high, accept the challenges of the process, and never stop moving forward. In the 21st century, the game of football underwent a massive technological revolution to ensure absolute fairness. For over 100 years, the final decisions on the pitch rested entirely on the human eyes of a single referee. In a fast-paced game, human referees occasionally made massive errors that changed the course of sports history. FIFA recognized the urgent need to integrate modern technology without disrupting the natural, fluid rhythm of the game. The organization introduced goal line technology, utilizing high-speed cameras to track the exact position of the ball. If the ball crosses the white line by even a single millimeter, an instant signal is sent to the referee's watch. This was quickly followed by the introduction of the video assistant referee. famously known to global fans as VAR. Specialized video officials sit in a high-tech control room, analyzing multiple camera angles during critical moments. Furthermore, modern tournaments now utilize highly advanced footballs embedded with microchips and motion sensors. These smart balls track spatial data 500 times per second, providing instant information to the offside cameras. This technological evolution has completely transformed how tactical coaches prepare their teams for matches. Every single movement is tracked, analyzed by computers, and turned into valuable performance data. While some traditional fans initially criticized these changes, the technology has brought a new era of justice. It ensures that a team's years of grueling training are not completely ruined by an accidental human oversight. The integration of technology shows that even the most historic institutions must adapt to the modern world. FIFA successfully balanced its rich, historic traditions with the power of modern engineering and innovation. This digital transformation provides a brilliant lesson for anyone navigating the modern professional landscape. The world around us is changing at an incredibly fast pace, with new technologies emerging every single year. To achieve long-term success, you must remain highly adaptable and completely open to learning new tools. Do not cling stubbornly to old methods simply because they are familiar or comfortable to your routine. Combine your foundational skills with modern technology to elevate your performance to an elite level. Learning English combined with digital literacy is the ultimate superpower in the modern global economy. Just like the modern World Cup, embrace the tools that help you achieve absolute clarity and precision. The willing capacity to adapt to change is what ultimately separates sustainable legends from temporary stars. There is absolutely nothing in the world of sports quite like the magical narrative of a true underdog story. Every single FIFA World Cup tournament features a lesser-known nation that defies all mathematical odds. These teams do not possess expensive superstar players or state-of-the-art training facilities in their home countries. However, they possess an unbreakable collective spirit and a tactical discipline that can topple massive football empires. The global football community witnessed a historic example of this during the magnificent 2022 World Cup in Qatar. The national team of Morocco arrived at the tournament completely overlooked by international football pundits. They were placed in an incredibly difficult group alongside traditional European giants like Belgium and Croatia. But the Moroccan players refused to accept the minor role that the world had pre-written for them. They defended their goal line with a fierce, ironclad determination, running until their muscles completely burned. They shocked the world by defeating Belgium, knocking out Spain, and securing a historic victory over Portugal. With every single win, they became the very first African and Arab nation to ever reach the World Cup semifinals. Their historic triumph triggered massive, joyful celebrations across multiple continents, uniting millions of fans. The Moroccan players celebrated their victories by running into the stands to hug and kiss their proud mothers. These emotional images touched the hearts of billions, reminding the world of the true values of family and humility. They proved that when a group of individuals works with absolute unity and selflessness, miracles become possible. The underdogs had rewritten the global hierarchy of football, proving that grit beats raw status every single time. For anyone who feels overwhelmed by the difficulty of learning a new language, look directly to the underdogs. You might feel like an underdog right now, competing against people who seem far more advanced than you. The mountain of grammar rules and advanced vocabulary might look completely impossible to climb. But remember that you do not need to possess the most expensive resources to achieve true fluency. Consistent daily effort combined with an unshakable belief in your own potential can break down any barrier. Take it one match at a time, one study session at a time, and never let anyone dictate your personal limits. The underdog stories of FIFA show us that history is not written by the critics who talk loud. It is written by the brave individuals who step onto the pitch and fight with everything they have. Today, FIFA encompasses over 200 member associations representing virtually every nation on the planet. The World Cup has officially grown into the most watched sporting event in human history, uniting billions of eyes. It has successfully fulfilled the original 1904 vision of its founders, turning football into a global language. The iconic gold trophy remains the absolute ultimate symbol of human athletic achievement and national pride. As we look toward the future, the tournament continues to innovate, expand, and inspire the dreams of tomorrow. The upcoming editions will feature more teams than ever before, allowing new countries to taste the big stage. Millions of young children across the globe are waking up early today to kick a ball against a brick wall. They dream of one day wearing their national colors and walking out onto that pristine electric World Cup grass. The true legacy of FIFA is not found within the shining trophies or the multi-million-dollar stadium structures. It is found in the quiet moments of inspiration where a child realizes that their dreams are completely valid. It is found when a small village gathers around a single television screen to cheer for their country as one. Football reminds us that despite our diverse languages and cultures, our human emotions are exactly the same. We all feel the exact same pounding anxiety during a penalty shootout and the same explosive joy when a goal is scored. The sport serves as a beautiful, glowing mirror reflecting the absolute best qualities of the human race. It displays our capacity for intense discipline, collective empathy, and our endless pursuit of perfection. The grand story of football is an ongoing, beautiful tapestry that belongs to every single human being. As you finish reading this long-form motivational story, take the elite mindset of a champion with you. Approach your personal language studies with the exact same focus that a striker carries into the penalty box. Be completely disciplined in your daily routines, resilient during hardships, and always proud of your progress. You are the absolute author of your own destiny, and your educational journey is a historic path to greatness. The ball is at your feet, the grand stadium of life is watching, and the future is wide open before you. Never be afraid to dream big, never slow down your daily work, and always remember to enjoy the beautiful game. From a simple meeting in Paris to a global phenomenon, the journey proves that anything is humanly possible. Keep moving forward, keep learning daily, and run directly toward your own version of ultimate immortality.